every morning at exactly 6:30 a.m., before the sun peeked over the tall office buildings, an old man arrived with a broom in one hand and a metal lunchbox in the other. His name was Mr. Harold. He didn't talk much. He wore the same grey uniform every day and walked slowly, with a small limp in his left leg. Some said he was a war veteran. Others whispered that he just never moved on from the past. But no one really knew. He cleaned every floor of the building, bathrooms, elevators, break rooms. He never complained, never asked for help, and never rushed. Everything he touched ended up spotless. The employees often ignored him. Some chuckled behind his back. "He's so old, he probably sweeps the same spot twice," said Mark from accounting once. "He probably sleeps here too," joked Kelly from marketing. But Harold never reacted. He just kept his head down and worked. Only one person really noticed him, Lily, the young receptionist on the ground floor. She always greeted him with a kind smile. Some mornings, she brought him a cup of tea and a biscuit. "Thank you, miss." "Lily," Harold would say, his eyes soft and warm. He'd sit quietly in the janitor's closet for lunch, away from the noise and chatter of the rest of the staff. People thought he had no one, no family, no past, just an old man trying to make ends meet. But what no one knew, what not even Lily guessed, was that Mr. Harold had a secret that would change everything, especially for the people who thought he didn't matter. 2 weeks before everything changed, the company hired a new operations manager. Her name was Dana Whitmore. She wore sharp suits, walked fast, and talked even faster. Her heels clicked loudly on the marble floors as she moved through the office like she owned it. Dana came from a big city firm. She had numbers to prove she could cut waste and boost profits. From the moment she arrived, the atmosphere in the building shifted. She didn't smile at the front desk. She didn't ask names. She just pointed at things, made lists, and held long meetings about efficiency. Her eyes landed on Harold the second week. "Why do we still have an on-site janitor?" she asked during a staff meeting. "That's outdated. We could hire a cleaning company for half the cost." The room went silent. No one answered. "Who even hired him?" she asked. "Does he have a contract?" Lily spoke up quietly. "He's been here for over 20 years. He knows every corner of the building." Dana raised an eyebrow. "Well, then it's time he enjoyed retirement. We're running a business, not a charity." That week, she started watching Harold more closely. She timed his breaks, checked how long it took him to clean. She even wrote him up once for using too many paper towels. Harold didn't argue. He just nodded, cleaned, and continued working as if nothing had changed. But Lily saw it, the way his shoulders drooped a little more each day, the way he paused at the closet door before going inside. One Thursday morning, Dana walked up to him. In the hallway, her voice was cold and sharp. "Mr. Harold, I need to speak with you in my office. Now." He followed her quietly, lunchbox in hand. Behind the glass door, she sat down and crossed her legs. "We're letting you go," she said simply. "We've hired a professional service. They'll take over cleaning next week." Harold looked at her, calm as ever. "I see. That's it?" she asked, almost annoyed at his lack of reaction. "Yes, ma'am," he said gently. "I understand. Please collect your things by the end of the day." Harold stood, nodded once, and left the room without another word. Outside, Lily stood near the front desk. When she saw him walk by with his lunchbox and jacket, her eyes filled with tears. "Mr. Harold, they can't." He gave her a small smile. "It's all right, Miss Lily. Everything happens for a reason." And with that, the old janitor walked out the front door. But he wouldn't stay gone for long. the next morning, everything would change. Friday morning came, and the building felt different. Lily arrived early, hoping, just hoping, that maybe Mr. Harold would still be there, sweeping near the elevator like always. But the hallway was empty. The office buzzed with quiet whispers. "Did you hear? Dana fired the janitor." "About time. The guy could barely walk." "She's really cleaning house, huh?" But not everyone was laughing. Some of the older staff looked down at their desks. They remembered Harold helping them carry boxes, changing light bulbs without being asked, fixing squeaky doors no one else bothered with. At 9 a.m. sharp, Dana stood in the break room with a clipboard. "Just a reminder," she announced. "We have a new cleaning company starting next week. Please be respectful while they do their job efficiently." Lily's stomach twisted. She wanted to say something, but what could she do? She was just the receptionist. At lunchtime, she sat alone with her sandwich, staring at the empty spot where Harold used to sit on the bench by the vending machines. She couldn't shake the feeling that something wasn't right. Harold hadn't even fought to stay. He hadn't asked for help. He just walked away, quiet, calm, and with a look in his eyes that she couldn't quite explain. Like he was waiting for something, or like he already knew what was coming. That evening, as the sky turned pink and gold outside the tall windows, Dana packed her things with a satisfied smile. "One less expense," she said out loud, tossing a file into her briefcase. She didn't know that, at that very moment, something was happening outside. A sleek black car had pulled up to the front entrance. The driver stepped out and opened the door, and from inside stepped Mr. Harold. But this time, he wasn't wearing a janitor's uniform. He wore a dark blue suit, polished shoes, and a silver watch. He looked nothing like the man she had fired. And he was walking straight toward the building Lily was at. The front desk when the doors opened. She looked up and froze. There, standing under the bright lobby lights, was Mr. Harold. But it wasn't the same Harold she had known. His grey hair was neatly combed back. He wore a sharp navy suit, the kind that looked custom-made. His shoes gleamed like polished glass, and instead of a lunchbox, he held a leather folder tucked under one arm. "Mr. Harold," Lily whispered. He gave her the same kind smile he always had. "Good morning, Miss Lily." She stood up. What are you doing here?" Before he could answer, the elevator doors opened. 2 men in suits stepped out. One was the building's property manager. The other wore a legal badge. "Right this way, Mr. Hargrove," the manager said respectfully, gesturing toward the top floor. Lily blinked. "Hargrove?" "Harold Hargrove," said the lawyer. "Owner of the building," she gasped. Mr. Harold, quiet, gentle Harold, owned the building. He gave Lily a small wink before stepping into the elevator. "Told you everything happens for a reason." Meanwhile, upstairs, Dana was preparing for her afternoon meeting when her phone rang. "Dana Whitmore," she answered confidently. "Please come to the boardroom." "Right away," said the voice on the other end. When she walked in, she saw Harold, already seated at the head of the long table. The property manager and lawyer stood behind him. Dana paused, confused. "What is he doing here?" The lawyer cleared his throat. "This is Mr. Hargrove. He owns the entire building, has for nearly 12 years now." Dana stared at them. "That's not possible." He was the janitor. Harold spoke, calm and clear. "Yes, I was, by choice." He looked straight at her. "I wanted to see how people treated others when they thought no one was watching." Dana swallowed hard. "You fired me," he said gently, "without asking who I was, without even thanking me for the years I gave to this place. That told me everything I needed to know about your leadership." Dana stammered, I was just doing what's best for the company. Maybe, Harold said, but not what's best for the people. The lawyer slid a letter across the table. Your management contract has been terminated. Effective immediately. Dana's hands shook as she picked it up. Harold stood. Kindness is not weakness. You should remember that. And with that, he turned and left the room. The silence he left behind said more than any words could. News spread fast through the office. People whispered in corners. Eyes widened. Some even looked a little guilty. Mr. Harold, the janitor they all ignored or laughed at, was actually the man who owned the very building they worked in. By the time he stepped out of the elevator, everyone on the ground floor had stopped what they were doing. Lily stood up quickly as he approached. Mr. Harold, I didn't know. He smiled warmly. You treated me with kindness. That's all that mattered. Then he turned to the group that had gathered. I wasn't here to spy. I just wanted to remember what it felt like to work hard and be invisible. No one spoke. But I also wanted to see who noticed me, he said softly. Who treated me like a person, not a problem. Just then, a woman from HR walked over, looking nervous. Is Dana really fired? Harold nodded. She made a mistake, not just in judgment but in heart. Sometimes that costs you more than your job. He looked around, then back at Lily. You saw me, he said gently. You saw someone others looked past. I'd like to offer you a new position. Lily's eyes widened. Me? Yes, Harold said. Office manager. Better hours, better pay, and your own team to lead. Her hands shook as she nodded. I'd be honored. You earned it, he said. Not with a degree, not with power, with kindness. The room was silent for a moment. Then people clapped, soft at first, then stronger. Harold raised a hand. I'm not staying long. I've made arrangements to step away and focus on something new. But I wanted to leave this building in good hands. Someone in the back asked, what will happen to Dana? Harold didn't answer right away. Then he said, I hope she learns. That's up to her now. He walked over to the janitor's closet and opened the door. Inside was his old mop, bucket, and jacket, all neatly folded. He picked them up one last time. Before leaving, he turned to Lily. Take care of this place, not just the building, the people. She nodded, eyes shining. And then, just like that, Mr. Harold Hargrove walked out. But this time, he didn't leave as a janitor. He left as the man who taught them all what real power looks like. A week later, the building felt different. There was no loud clacking of heels in the hallway. No tension in the air. People smiled more. They talked kindly. And at the front desk, Lily now sat a little taller in her chair. She had a new badge that read, Office Manager. She still brought in tea and biscuits, this time for the entire team. The janitor's closet had been cleaned out, but no one rushed to fill it. They left it as it was, like a small tribute, a quiet reminder. One Monday morning, a letter arrived. It was addressed to all the employees of the building. Lily read it out loud during a short staff meeting. To those who knew me as Harold the janitor, thank you for watching, listening, and learning. In this building, I found more than dust and dirt. I found truth. You can tell a lot about someone by how they treat people who have nothing to offer them. I wasn't testing anyone. I was simply living a life where I could see the world for what it truly is. I've decided to donate the building to a foundation that helps workers find training and support. No more cutting people out for being too old or too quiet. Kindness isn't something you list on a resume, but it's the thing that matters most. Sincerely, Harold Hargrove. The room went quiet. Even Mark from accounting wiped his eyes. Lily folded the letter carefully and placed it in a frame near the lobby entrance. And every morning, when employees walked in, they saw it. A gentle reminder that sometimes the people we overlook are the ones holding everything together. Mr. Harold never came back, but his story stayed. It stayed in the way people helped each other carry boxes. It stayed in the way they spoke to the new cleaning crew. It stayed in the way Lily smiled at everyone who walked through the front door. And somewhere out there, Harold Hargrove was probably sweeping a different floor, quietly watching, quietly teaching. Because some lessons don't need loud voices. They just need someone to care. If this story moved you, don't forget to like the video and share your thoughts in the comments below. Have you ever known someone who surprised you like Mr. Harold? We'd love to hear your story. And if you want more emotional and unexpected stories like this one, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss a moment.